match, and it's in those qualifying matches where you do have a second life. You do have a second life available, and here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love. We have our red Protoss player, freshly returning from the military, looking on fire as of late. Can he make it to a qualifying match? It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons. Just look down classic. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, oh wait, first things first, if you're in the chat, if you know Korean, if you know Hangul, I would love to know what the players are talking about, what they're conversing about. So if you can have some translations, we'd love to see them. Otherwise, if you're in the chat, it's Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat, as predictions are underway for the next minute or so. Best of luck, as we are going to be settling in. Oh my god, that's a lot of... Jesus. I understand. He's TTing. I understand that. TT, baby. TT. He's expressing sadness. That's all I know. For now, though, 15 hatchery here into gas pool, so still a standard opener. Did go for a slightly earlier expansion to make sure it doesn't get blocked, but outside of that, going for a standard follow-up. Meanwhile, Zoun just going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Everything looking normal so far. Now, when it comes to Zoun's play, if you haven't been watching him, he has been back for the past, I wouldn't say 2 months, maybe 3. Like, time flies in StarCraft. Like, Jesus. Time flies in general. But like 2 to 3 months, Zoun has been back. He has been competing. He's been looking very strong in certain matchups. What I will say is that Zoun, he's looking quite comparable with some of the best players in the world in PvP and PvT. Like Zoun, we've casted him recently take down Clem. That was in the Libra League like 2-3 weeks ago. Zoun's been taking down players like Clem, players like Bjorn, players like Hero in PvPs. Zoun has been getting some really strong results, specifically in PvP and PvT. But what he hasn't been getting good results in is PvZ. Like Protoss vs Zerg does seem to be Zoun's weakest matchup. Not saying that he's like awful at it or anything, but like everyone has a weakest matchup, and this is the weakest matchup for Zoun. So it is unfortunate that he's up against Solar here in the quarterfinals. Give him any other player, and I mean, he might have more success. But still, though, I want to believe that he has been working on this matchup. Overlord is going to be safe. Back at home, Twilight Council. Aggressive build here by Zoun. No Stargate. No Stargate opener. Solar Scout is denied by the Stalker. The Stalker is a tell that something is wrong. It's not always a tell that something's wrong, but it is a little bit suspect. It is a little bit suspect here. Typically, when a player opens up Stalker, it's to deny the Scout. It's to keep the Zerg player in the dark as what's happening. And we can see it's leading into Glaive Adepts. So Solar, he isn't fully aware of what's going on, but he has an idea. Does have an idea. So far, just keeping up with the Adept. How many gateways are finishing up? So far, we have 2 gateways at the natural, soon to be 2 gateways in the main. And should be 4 gate glaives. Now, something important to bear in mind. I don't see a robo. There's no robo with this. So this looks like an economic build. It may sound crazy, but this is a little bit old school. This was trendy back in early 2023. This is 3 gate glaives into a third. The reason why you get a third base is because you didn't make a robo. So the money that would have been spent on a robo and a war prism is instead spent on an expansion. Speaking of, here it is. So this is a less committed version of Glaive Adepts. Now, because there's no war prism, one, sure, you get an expansion, you get your third base up and running a little bit earlier, but it also means that you can't reinforce. It means that there are going to be less adepts and reinforcements are going to be much more delayed. It means it's going to be more difficult to actually gain value with these adepts. So there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, it looks less aggressive. It looks like more like a normal build. On the other hand, it is also weaker. As adepts, they will soon move out. So far, trading against the Lings. Roach Warren gets placed. And we'll see what Zoun can get done. I want to say Strange popularized this build. I want to say Strange was doing this build a lot on the European server, like last year. And then it kind of like hit the mainstream a little bit for a while. And now like it's a build that players they whip out every now and then. Not very common, not very popular, I should say. The downside here of going into glaives like this is that your attack is late. Like your +1, your charge, your blink. Your mid-game tech is going to be far later. And so far, the Adepts, they haven't been able to get much done here. They head towards the Queens. They do go for one of them. Up! They will bring it down. One Queen falls. And Zoun has to get the hell out of here. He has to get the hell out of here. Sola is going to try and chase down the Adepts. Oh, won't quite get them. Thankfully, they do get away. And they will at least protect the third. So now we're going to be settling into a longer game state. Ideally, Zoun wants to force Sola to make units and not to drone. I mean, Sola, his 4th base, is a little bit late here. Was delayed because of the aggression. Likewise, Sola making extra roaches. Zoun taking a worker lead. Slightly. And now we can settle in. Oh, that's a gateway explosion. That's 5 gates. And there's no extra gases here. Interesting. 5 gates on the way. That's going to be an 8 gate +1 blink attack here from Zoun. I'm going to say 3 base all in, though. We'll see if he even saturates. Okay, we'll saturate his gas on the right-hand side. Doesn't take the gas on the left, but no further tech. No splash damage. He's 8 gating. Let's go. So what's happening? It's 8 gateways, pure blink stalker. Overseer will scout the gateway explosion. Big moment here for Solar. Likewise, he doesn't quite see much more than that, but he may have just seen enough. I think he's seen every gateway, actually. Yeah, he has seen every gateway so far. Ooh, Solar, he's droning, he's teching. If he drones too much, if he techs too much, then he will just fall over. He will just die to this. As Zoun moves out. Again, behind this is no further tech. There's no splash damage, no Colossus, no Storm, no nothing. It's purely Blink Stalker. I mean, purely a gateway army. And here he comes. Here he goes. We'll see if Zoun can break through. So far, the Plaza didn't quite connect. Overseer goes down. Nice force fields, getting us all the roaches. Ravager's being denied. Solar, can he hold on? He's getting us all the Adepts at least. They will fall. Zoun has to back off at the same time. Lings are getting to the mineral line. Yeah, they bust into the natural, forcing defensive warpins instead. Meanwhile, Solar is running out of roaches. Ravagers are getting exposed. So far, Solar, he's holding the line. Lings, they bust in towards the main. Probes did go down. And Solar's holding. Yeah, he's holding on. He's shutting this down. And again, Zoun has nothing left behind this. It's all or nothing. Solar is taking it to Hive. He's droning. He's got a Hydrogen on the way as well. Solar looking very comfortable here. He has weathered the storm. I mean, there is no storm. And he's getting ready for lurkers. Like, taking up into Hive, into lurker tech. He's going to be outscaling Zoun. Zoun forced to throw down the Bay, but there's a very late Bay here for Zoun. He needs more damage. He needs more value. He's not going to get it. Lings, once again, they get across the map. They force more warp-ins. Yeah, Zoun is trying to push forward. And I mean, his blinks look good, don't get me wrong, they're solid. But Zoun has run out of steam. This is the reality here. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Solar. As we have Hydra upgrades on the way, Hydras themselves being produced. Lings are reinforcing. Zoun going into disruptor production. I mean, what else can he do? Oh, not bad. Gets into the mineral line. Solar not ready for this. Drones are going down. Uh-oh. Solar is getting pulled apart here. The Adepts, they're the MVPs. They shed into the natural. And more drones are falling. There's no WSS game hard, but Solar, he will lose 10 workers. Oh my god, the Biles do connect though. But the Hydra are exposed, the Ravagers are exposed. And Zoun, has he done it? As he has been 3-way all in this entire time, he's been 8-gating and he is breaking through. It's still so close though. Adepts are cleaned up, now Solar can focus on the defense. As the Adepts are no longer an issue. And there it is, GG gets called down. He breaks on through, he breaks the back of Solar. And Zoun takes game 1. Whew. GG. Solar getting caught with his pants down. Again, the Adepts really did a lot of damage. They killed workers. More importantly, they distracted Solar as well. And you could definitely argue that maybe Solar was being a little bit too greedy tech-wise. I don't think it was necessary for him to head into a hive, for example. I think the Hydras were fine, but heading into a hive, working on further upgrades, droning as well in the middle of the all-in. It did feel like maybe Solar didn't respect the all-in enough. And with that, was punished for it. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Zoun takes the lead, and Zoun only needs one more game to take the series. Una más, papi, una más. But now we go from one of the smaller maps to one of the larger maps. Up next is Abyssal Reef. Now, if Zoun wanted to 8-gate, this is not the best map for it. I'll be honest, this map, it's not as ideal. We've spoken about the defensive features of this map before and the rush distance by ground as well, so we expect a different build out of the Protoss. But here we go, we're jumping into game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, who was able to pull off the all-in in game 1. We'll see what the plan is here in game 2, as he does have a lead. And he's one game away from qualifying, from making it to a qualifying match. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And Solar, he's up against the wall. One more misstep, one more mistake, and he will be out of it. And again, initially Solar, he was defending quite well against the all-in in game 1, but it did feel like maybe he was being a little bit too greedy, that he wasn't taking it seriously enough, in the sense that he was droning, he was teching, getting a hive, saturating his 4th base, taking gases, like he was looking a little bit too comfortable there, and in the end it wasn't warranted. Clearly, as we saw, in the end Zoun did punish. But now we're getting into game number 2. As I mentioned, I don't see Zoun opening up. I mean, initially, I don't see him opening up Twilight Council again. Going for that 3-gate Glaives is something you do once in a series typically, so I don't see that happening for a second time. Likewise, an 8-gate 3-base all-in with Mass Blink Stalker, I don't see that happening here on Abyssal Reef either. I can see it working really well in smaller maps like Ultra Love or Whispers of Gold, or Ley Lines as well. I do see it working quite nicely on those maps. These larger maps, though, difficult to pull it off. Not impossible, but difficult, as the map is working against you. That's where the mind games come into play, and like, you know, because your opponent doesn't expect it, they're too greedy, and then it works, for example. Like, there's definitely gambles that you can take. But we'll see. As for now, yeah, Stargate. It's going to be a Stargate opener from Zoun, so much more standard this time. Much more standard. As he's going for the Stargate. Setting up back at home. Into Oracle. Into his 3rd. Now, we have seen Zoun rush into Sky Toss. That is a build that he has been quite fond of. Even before he went to the military and post-military as well. So, if there were a map to really embrace that kind of style on, I feel like it would be this one. Remember, I brought it up in Classic series, but Classic never really had the chance to go into it because Solo was going for Swarm Host, if you recall. But we'll see if Zoun finds a way in. We'll see if he's able to cut those corners and get away with that. Rushing Fleet Beacon, I mean. Now, just going for the Oracle. Likewise, back at home, Solo droning, getting his 3rd, spreading his creep. Oracle will soon move out across the map. And we'll see what Zoun can get done. As he's just going to be poking and prodding, making sure that Solar hasn't taken extra gases, making sure he doesn't throw down an early Roach Warren. Lings, they will delay the 3rd. So Zoun, he will keep the probe alive. Let's keep it alive. Likewise. There we go. The third base is going to be delayed, but only by a couple of seconds. As Zoun does throw it down. Likewise, Solar being active. Lings are forced back. More Lings on the way. That tells us Solar he does want to apply more pressure to the third. But still droning. Still saturating. Meanwhile, Twilight Council and a Forge on the way. Zoun taking up. Again, a much more standard follow-up. This should be plus on and blink, but it can be charge. I'm not too fond of charge-based play on Abyssal Reef, but we'll see. We'll see what Zoun embraces. See, Oracles are keeping tabs on Solar. Now going to be forced back. We have 5 adepts moving in towards the left-hand side, and it is going to be Blink. So Blink is confirmed for Zoun. So then Blink. Lings, they collapse in. Zoun, he kites well. Shaving off a lot of those Lings even. Oh my god, very nice control. Maneuvers his Veps. Trays the Lings. Oracles, they threaten a dive. So far, so good. Solar is keeping up. Minimizing any economic damage. So far, at least. Zoun does shut down those active tumors. We do have a gateway explosion behind this. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. So far, it's going to be 6 gates. Oh my god, he's doing it again. Never mind. If you recall, I said, I don't really see Zoun going for an 8 gate, 3 base all in, 2 games in a row, like especially in Abyssal Reef. He's going for it. And that's a lot of gateways. So yeah, 6 gates on the way, 2 gates already done. So this is not going to be an 8 gate 3 base all in. It's going to be a 9 gate 3 base all in, as he's going to be setting up a proxy 9th gateway here in the center of the map. So it's going to be all or nothing for Zoun. Meanwhile, the Lings slowly moves out. He finds a proxy, and he will force a cancel. Yeah, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Massive pickoff, and now Solar knows. He knows not to drone. Yes, yeah, he's canceling his gases. Oh, he is investing into tech, though. That's a hydrogen and an infestation pit. That might be a little bit too greedy. He needs to focus on purely... Oh, he's getting supply blocked. Aye. 6 overlords on the way. Solar, he's massing up Roach Ravager, and he needs an army here and now. Again, he needs to get it soon, fast. Lings, they do hit across the map. They get on top of the shield battery. Force a defensive warp in. Good pick up. Shield battery goes down. Main army pushes in. Can a Solar hold on? So far, zoning back the army with those Ravagers. Building up more Lings, more Roaches. Another Overlord does fall. Solar will not get supply block, not anymore. He's got plenty of Overlords. How's it didn't quite connect? Lings, they hit the expansion once again. This time probes are falling. No shield battery, the Zealots are gone. Oof. It's gonna be 5 dead workers. Around 5. That will slow Zoun down. Likewise, stasis going off. Does catch most of the roach. Or I should say a good chunk of roaches. Do get caught out. And Zoun can use that as a force field basically. That's a choke point. Meanwhile, Lings, they once again hit the 3rd. And this is taking too long. Again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Solar. Solar, he's close to maxing out. Trading with the army, losing Lings. Roaches are holding their own. Stasis traps going off, but not the best stasis traps. Not the best connections. That was not quite connecting. Hydra's now in the mix. Solar making more Lings. Oh, he's squeezing out a couple of workers, and he throws out a second infestation pit. And a lurker dead. Bold move. Oh, he canceled the first one. Okay. Makes sense. Did cancel the first pit. Now he's rebuilding. Taking it to lurkers, droning as well. Similar vibes to last game where he's being quite greedy here, but this time he's getting away with it. Or is he? Ravagers going down. Hydras as well. The Valley Picos here from Zoun. Likewise, he should take down these Ravagers. Oh, never mind. Yeah, not quite in position. Ravagers able to escape. Zoun unable to punish. And Zoun, he's trying to transition out of this. We do have a 4th expansion and Storm on the way. He's working towards Storm, working towards +2. But again, all this tech that Zoun is getting is late. It's all late here for Zoun. Because he was all in. I don't see Zoun breaking this either. Not anytime soon. Solite does catch one of the Oracles. Taking into Hive. And Solar getting a 5th expansion. Just freely mining is up to almost 80 workers. Lurkers are now morphing in, and with the arrival of the first wave of Lurkers, I mean, that's just a hold for Solar. As he survived long enough to get into Lurker tech. Yeah, Lurkers are here. Stalkers, they cannot push in. It's not going to happen. And Solar holds, and now he can counterattack. Or even try to surround the army. Collapsing on the gateway. Coming in for the surround. At least trying to. Zoun, he will slip away. But the gateway falls. And again, Zoun, he's in a lot of trouble. He does have Storm, though. That is going to be, what, 5-6 High Templar back at home. Zoun is still in this. But now Solar has gained map control. He has stripped map control away from Zoun. Knocking down those rocks. Pushing towards the natural. Storms are coming in. That's a lot of storms. Ooh, meanwhile, Lings, they do get caught out by the stage. That's a lot of stage traps. Jesus. The traps, they pop off. Zoun coming in for the surround. And it will clean up these Lurkers. The storms as well, and the Hydras. Oh my god. Solar, he gets caught out. He will try to counterattack here, but this 4th base, it looks like he's going to be able to hold. And Zoun, he defends the 4th, catches out all the Lings. And now we have a back and forth. Now we have 4 base versus 5 base. We have a comparable economies here. Zoun actually up in drones, or up in probes. Has plenty of Storm. Pushing into Lurkers is still not going to be easy, though. Not with this kind of army. Not with this few Immortals. As there's only 2. Only 2 Immortals. But the Lurkers aren't quite in position. Storm's popping up. Lurkers do rotate. They do respond. Black Bat's just coming in from behind. Lurkers, they hold their own down. He has to back off. He has to retreat. He can deal with the Hydras at least, and he will. A very efficient trade. All the Hydras go down. Massive pickles here for Zoun. And is he going to try to break this? The answer is yes. he's pushing in. Oh, Storm's going to be going up. High Templar, they lead the charge. We're going to throw away every single High Templar. Was it worth it? Oh god, the spine shots are brutal. No, it was not worth it. It was not worth it. Zoun, he just rams into a brick wall. He gets punished. Zoun, he was actually up in supply, by the way. He was up in army supply as he was pushing in. He lost everything. Respect the Lunkers, Pappy. Respect them. And with that, Solar holds. Getting to his Hydra up. Sorry, his Hive upgrades. Ooh, nothing to defend the mineral line. Drones are going down. Let's force Solar back. Does force him back. Zoun trying to build back up. Does need a 5th base though. Oh. Lurkers, they almost catch the army. Waddling forward. Again, only 3 Immortals with this army. Storm will zone. Solar pushing in. Oh, one High Templar gets one. One High Templar got sniped. Solar headed towards that 4th. Behind the mineral line. Likewise, you have a Lurker here at the 3rd base as well. Drones are falling. Spine shots go up, catching out one of the Immortals, almost. Nice catch here from Solar. as he's going to be overwhelming. He's up to how many lurkers? Up to 16! 16 lurkers for Solar. Zoun cannot push into it. He cannot engage with the main army, so he counterattacks. You have Zealous towards the main army towards the fort. Solar, he does leave. Actually, he moves out with his lurkers. Going for a counterattack? He's crazy! Is coming to a counterattack instead. Will lose his 4th base. Zoun, he turns back around. He's racing back home. Can he surround the lurkers? He's gonna try. We'll catch him out. Oh! They do borrow. Decent spread here from Zoun. He's getting on top of lurkers. They're exposed. They're all on their own. Massive loss for Solar. He plummets in supply, losing every single lurker. Where was the support? The support was elsewhere. We needed the Roach Hydra. Needed it with the lurkers. And now Solar's in trouble. He's down to how many lurkers are left? 2. 2 lurkers remaining. They're racing back home. And Solar's in trouble. Solar, he plummets in supply. And the soup, it's not lying, Pat. It's not lying. Oh no. Storms are coming in. They shut down the Hydras, down to 1 lurker. Okay, 2 more Jumorph in, but it's not going to be enough. Zoun has done it. GG gets called, and Zoun will take the series 2-0, advancing on to a qualifying match. GG. GG, well played. As Zoun will take the series and will advance on. Wow, very well done, very well played here from Zoun. And with that, and my condolences to Solar. Again, Solar, he played well in both games, I want to say. He was able to defend against the 3 base all-ins, initially at least. But if you remember, in Game 1, Solar was a little bit too greedy. Here in Game 2, Solar was too cavalier with his lurkers. Again, Solar, there was that point where he had 16 lurkers. He had 16 lurkers. He had a supply advantage. But he had Zoun on the ropes, and Zoun counterattacked. He counterattacked, he hit the 4th base, if you remember. And instead of coming back home to defend, Solar, he attacked with purely lurker. And we saw what happened. He attacked with the lurkers, and he got surrounded. He lost 16 lurkers, or technically he lost 14, because 2 were back at home. So it was 14 lurkers then and there. It was a much more efficient fight there for Zoun. Solar, he got caught with his pants down there. I don't think he expected Zoun to turn around and to come back home, and that was game. That was game. Then and there, losing 14 lurkers in a brutal fashion. With that, GG. GG, well played. And now let's catch up on the bracket.